Okay, so it turns out there are two main stereotypes when it comes to being a bloke. There's the macho man who's all muscle with no emotions whatsoever, or the snag, the sensitive new-aged guy, the dude who's a little on the so-called feminine side and is sometimes seen as what we like to call in the media a doormat.
Yeah, but now a new book dares to reject these ideals and redefine what it means to be a gentleman. The author, Dr. Dane Heer, joins us live from our Melbourne studio to explain. Welcome back to the show, Dane.
Hey, Dane.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Now, I think, of course, there's more to men than those two stereotypes. But does a modern man even know who he's supposed to be these days?
Unfortunately not, and this is why I wrote the book, because I wanted to start a different conversation. You know, we have this idea that somehow men are now responsible for all the ills in the world, and yet, you know, if you look at the Me Too movement, it's like that was created by a very tiny minority of men, and the rest of us are as outraged as everyone else. We just don't have the tools to know that we can be what it takes to change it.
Yeah, very good point. What are the most common myths about manhood, do you think, in 2018?
Well, I'd say the first one has become that men are wrong. You know, it reminds me of that old philosophical question, if a tree falls in the forest and no one is around, is the man still wrong? And unfortunately, men at this point, you know, that answer is a yes, and we all know it, unfortunately. And the second one is this bloke stereotype that you talk about, that your only strength is in your physical prowess. And that's so outdated, it needs to go. And then the third one is that men can't be everything. You know, a man can be potent and kind. He can be powerful and also sensitive. And a man can stand up for his mates in a fight and also stand up for women's rights.
Do you think? Well, don't we know that, Dane?
I thought so also.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the reason I wrote the book, I had a friend who was Googling how to be a man. And the only thing he found online were how to get women in bed and how to pretend to be something you're not so women will like you. And I realized these resources just aren't out there and available. Having this conversation and letting us know that we can actually be everything that we are. We've sort of moved out of the Stone Age, and I just don't think anybody ever acknowledged it.
Okay. The Like a Girl hashtag changed the game for women. Let's take a look at that.
Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Show me what it looks like to fight like a girl. Throw like a girl. Fight like a girl.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful stuff, isn't it? You think there needs to be an equivalent campaign for blokes. What would that look like?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I think we could have a couple, like kindness is cool, vulnerability is sexy. You can be as much of a woman as a man. Well, that might be a little weird, but, you know, this is the idea I'm trying to get people to embrace is, look, we have a level of sensitivity as men. We have a level of kindness, and we're taught that it doesn't exist.
You want to see the return of the gentleman. Where is the best place to start, do you think, with that?
Well, I'd say the first place is, as men, realize you're not wrong for being a man. There is a gift that you bring to the world that needs to be acknowledged. Second is to stop judging yourself. Judgment never helps us. It never makes us feel lighter. Third thing is to recognize that your difference is your strength. I worked with a young man who was very kind and very sensitive, and he lived with an abusive father who told him those things were wrong. And yet, in him embracing that, you should see he's actually starting to create his life and be happy, but also he has a 3-year-old boy that is one of the happiest kids you've ever seen on the planet.
Okay. All right, what role do you think women play in all of this? If this is to come around the way that you'd like it to, how does that relationship have to change, the way we see men?
What does Larry need from me,
Yes,
is what he's trying to ask.
Exactly. Let me tell you, here's the way it works is women's role in this is actually vital. When a woman sees a man as a gift, when she acknowledges what he's done that's right and sees the kindness in him, he rises to the level of that and often greater. When a woman judges a man and sees him as wrong, which is so prevalent in our society nowadays.
More prevalent than you know.
Absolutely. He becomes what he's, I'm not touching that subject. No. He becomes more of what he's judged for. And this isn't this, and imagine if we change this, what it could change for the relationships, not only for us right now on the planet, but also for our children's future.
Well, you wanted to start a conversation, and all you've done is stop us from talking forever. But thank you. Nice to talk to you as always, Dane. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys.
Okay.
Thank you, Dane. Return of the Gentleman by Dr. Dane Heer is out now, and the details are on our website.